Welcome back, everybody, to another exciting episode of It's All Related. I'm Sonia Telly, standing in for Mama Choquette with my co-host and bestie, Sabrina, in London. Come on down. Hi,
Hello.
Sabrina.
Good morning to you.
Top of the
How
morning.
are you? Good morning.
Lord, this Mercury
We did
Retrograde.
just have about 30 minutes of Mercury Retrograde recording delay. We retrograded hard on this beautiful freezing Thursday afternoon in London. That was a pretty epic Mercury Retrograde technical meltdown.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we pivoted. We pivoted. We used our tools.
We used our tools and figured it out. Honestly, I would say the most impressive thing, especially in things like that, is staying grounded. Because I know that, whether it's the holidays that are coming up or just as we start to wind up the end of the year, of how just so I find for myself as just things get busier and more intense, the more easily agitated and frazzled I get.
100%. I think you're so right. Like, the days are getting shorter. The holidays are around the corner. We are all in the thick of a Mercury retrograde. So I think that it's just like, I woke up this morning and I just had this like nutty anxiety. Like, I just felt physically like I could just shoot through the roof at any minute, just pop off at any moment for absolutely no reason at all. I just thought, I'm going to shoot through the ceiling. And I just thought, okay, I got to go like for a walk. I got to do my breathing. I got to make sure I eat some protein. I had to really
yell at someone. No, I'm joking.
I got to discharge this energy by screaming at somebody on this. I just really was like, I have to actively combat this energy because it's so physically manifesting in my body. And then it did pass. Like, I feel much better now. But yeah, it's just been a wackadoodle week.
Yeah. And just, as we're in Mercury retrograde and kind of wrapping up the end of the year, we were chatting with Mom earlier and we were talking about how at this juncture is just a good time to start to review about some of the different things that you want to leave behind as we start to march like so fast into 2026. I mean,
exactly.
I'm like, it's crazy to look at my calendar. I'm having anxiety because it's both. I'm excited and have anxiety because I'm super excited to come see you guys in London and
can't wait.
be with my family.
Excited.
Oh my gosh.
So you know what I feel like? I feel like I'm on one of those cartoon rockets that I'm just holding on for dear life on a cartoon rocket that's shooting through the atmosphere. And I'm just trying like mad to just hold on the best I can. That's how fast time is moving and how intense this year. I've had so many of my clients say, like, this year, and myself included, this year has been the year of the snake in the Chinese zodiac years. And that is such a year of like shedding and letting go and like surrendering old parts of yourself and your identity. But it's not been easy. Like, giving up those parts of self is a challenge. It's a tough challenge to do. So next year is the year of the horse. And that's like more about like, it's a bit bouncier. It's a bit more speedy. It's a bit less like losing and shedding parts of yourself and really more just about moving forward.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting when I think about that is I got a snake tattoo a few years ago. And I remember I was really called to get this tattoo. Now it's kind of ubiquitous, but that's a whole other subject. But
it's a very unique and beautiful.
I mean, yes. But now, I mean, it's okay. Guess what? I have great taste, as does everybody else. Now we're all in the matching tattoo club. It's all good.
Yeah.
But I remember when I was feeling really like metaphysically drawn to snakes, and I was doing some of the just researching a bit about just some of the esoteric principles of snakes. And one of the things that I learned that I really loved is that when snakes molt, when they like shed their skin grows over their eyes. So they become blind. And so they have to really not only have faith to shed their own skin, but even coming out of like total darkness into this new evolution of themselves. And I always find that that's how it feels for me when I'm in moments.
Totally. It's like, what the hell is happening? I can't see anything.
Where's the dang light?
I'm just imagining having like going through the shedding and having the eyes, even your eyes have to shed. You know, wow, that's so intense.
Isn't that so intense? That's so intense. And when I think about that and I'm like, wow, that's so beautiful. And I think about in the moments where I've really been in like deep, dark.
Yeah. And like how in those moments of that deep, dark place of shedding, you really are sort of saying, is it the end?
Yes.
Like, is this the end? Because you don't yet see what the next evolution of you is going to be. So there is a tremendous, I think that's why we call it dark night of the soul. It's dark and it's kind of scary and it's a bit upsetting on some emotional level. You have to have tremendous faith before the light comes back.
Exactly. I love it. You read my mind. What are you, psychic? But exactly. Just in that place of like, you know, even when you're saying dark night of the soul, what I think of too, it's like those moments of my human parts, my pet, my ego, my intellect, my emotions are like,
100%. It's like a full flailing freak out.
Yeah.
For me, I definitely feel like that's been kind of a mantra for me in those moments where it feels so hard. You know, like it just feels so tremendously challenging and difficult. My mantra with myself is just don't freak out. Like this too shall pass. This will evolve. This version of life, whatever I'm in right now. You know, it's sort of like in the tarot, there's the Wheel of Fortune card, which is the tarot card where there's a wheel and then there are the different Egyptian they're like goddesses or deities or that lay on the outside of the wheel.
Yep.
And how the principle is that the soul is ever evolving and always in motion. Like we are constantly in this cycle, and what goes up must come down and what goes down must come up. And that like it's a constant process of growing, learning, evolving, shedding, growing. Like you're always on this. And it's interesting because I've had clients come to me at different points and say,
wait, you're talking about, it's not Egyptians, it's the 4 fixed signs: Taurus, Leo, Aquarius, and Scorpio. Yeah.
But there's one of them that on the outside that looks like the Sphinx. The Sphinx. That's right. That's where my brain went Egyptian. Totally. Because it looks like a Sphinx, the symbol of it.
Yeah. Continue.
And so when we look at this like ever evolving process of self, I do try to remember in those moments where my eyes feel covered by the snake skin that I'm in, that this too will pass. Because I do often have that with my clients. It's like they feel almost like they're failing in that moment. I think that we idealize a spiritual awakening and think like, oh, it's just this incredible, like, wow, I'm awake now and I'm seeing. But if anything, it's like what you see more of is what you don't see sometimes.
Yeah.
You kind of become awake to all the parts of you, and not all of those parts of you are easy to see or easy to look at or easy to process. So I do think that we have to emotionally make peace with how difficult the process is.
Totally. And just, you know, as you're saying that too, it's like, you know, of where is when that all, not only the things constantly changing. And as you're saying, as our little our human selves are like, oh my goodness, of where, it's like often what I think of is of like skeletons in the closet, the things that really often scare us. And then you turn on a light and you're like, oh, that's maybe a problematic plastic skeleton. But as soon as as soon as in some ways I can start to name it, when I can start to see it, when I can see things for what they are, then it doesn't always necessarily make the decisions like more emotionally easier, but it gives such clarity. Like I was just talking to a client of mine who has been on her healing journey, her spiritual journey. And just as you were saying, a lot of it's felt like a car accident. She's broke up with her longtime partner. She was, evolving out of her different friend group. Now she is in a new partnership, but has actually just realized that she has to fade to black with her best friend because she just, we've been working on just having these different tools and even a barometer of like, what is for my client, like what is loving? We can have, and especially in our intimate relationships, like, look, we can fight, we can do different things, but of also just starting to see like, when you're, for her, for example, her friend got married at New York, maid of honor, whole 9 yards, came back from the wedding. And she was saying that her friend was mad at her and she wasn't totally sure. Her vibes told her.
She got like a sense something was off.
Totally. So first, her therapist is like, let's not judge and let's not assume. That great. But she's like, I still feel it. Reaches out. Her friend's like, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. She says again, I'm feeling anxious. Do you have time to talk?
Yeah.
Her friend says, later this week. Guess who never follows up?
Yeah.
Guess who never follows up? Mutual friend. She's like, is there something off between, blah and blah?
Yeah.
Or anything? And the other friend was like, well, you guys are so close, you get held to a higher standard. She's like, what? Fast forward.
She's like, what are you talking about?
Exactly. And also just for the friend to sign off, I was like, their mutual friend, I'm like, red flag. Anyway, Basti got married in another city, comes back, has a dinner with some of the different people in her wedding, specifically does not mention the dinner to her. Anything. Finds out about it on Instagram.
Terrible.
Isn't that cruel?
This is terrible. This is just time for a new best friend.
Exactly.
It's interesting. I too have been going through on a very small scale a version of this, which is that I was and have been friends with a mom from Sufi's nursery. And all of a sudden, the vibes just got weird. Where I could feel her energy shifted towards me. And every time I sort of was like, let's get together. How are you? She was just cold to me. And then I said, hey, you're feeling a bit cold to me. Everything okay? And she was like, I'm not being cold, which is kind of like LOL, because it's like, if you weren't being cold, you'd be warm, like, you'd be like, I don't know what you're talking about. I love you so much. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was like she was cold in her reaction to me saying, feeling a little bit distant. I didn't even say cold. I said, you're feeling a little bit distant. Is everything okay?
And they forget you were psychic.
Similarly, she just sort of was like, no, everything's fine. Like very much brushed me off. But energetically, I said to mom, I'm like, I feel that whatever's going on, the energy has shifted between us for whatever the reason is.
Yeah.
And I said, I can see how it could be like alluring for me to try too hard in this case. I could see how I could want to, on some level, be like, no, what do you do? Like kind of chase her down the rabbit hole a bit. Like, try to get her to be honest with me about what's going on.
Totally.
And then I really realized, you know what? Whatever's going on with her, this is a reflection of her depth and capacity to communicate with me, whether it be if I hurt your feelings or something's going on in your own personal life or whatever, to whatever degree that you want to be transparent with me, the vibes have shifted.
Yeah. And it's like, so the vibe doesn't lie.
The vibe doesn't lie. And I'm not going to gaslight myself and say, I'm like, no, something's changed here. Something is not the same, to quote Wicked. And I'm going to go with that. I'm going to trust that. And I'm also not going to, because what happens for me is I get like anxiety triggered by somebody. And then I'm like, oh, I want to overcompensate for you being weird to me.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to be like, I'm going to chase you down a rabbit hole, or I'm going to try to figure out what's going on, or I'm going to overgive to you as a way to kind of smoke you out, like kill you with kindness. And then you can't be weird because I'm kind of calling it. And I just thought, all of that is way too much work. Like I cannot do any of that. I have to just be okay with whatever this is, being my own best friend in this situation and not allowing this to hijack my sense of well-being.
100%. And that's when I think what could be hard not hard. I think a skill that we have to learn as an intuitive and when you're intuitive and empathic, of just feeling the energy and knowing and clocking that it's off, but at the same time, not like having your pet drive, being like, all right, because I've done that. I have done that so much. One of the things that I feel like I'm a recovering try hard. I'm a recovering try hard. When I was young, I would try so hard. I remember I would go to my friends and friend hangouts, and literally anything that I had, I would share. Part of that was my spirit, but part of it was I wanted people to like me.
Yeah.
I wanted people to like me, my sweet little honey,
your sweet little inner parts. We're just like, if I give you everything, you like me.
Totally.
Which is so funny because with me, you were never like that.
No. Of course not. I was
with unconditional love, little sister. You were like, go away.
Excuse me.
Excuse me. You cannot have any of that. Get out of here.
Oh my gosh.
But no, you're so right. It's like, I did have to fight. You know what? I had this rogue thought that was like, buy her an incredible Christmas gift that she cannot. Thoughtful. And I was like, wait a minute. Just be the most thoughtful. And then I thought, no, that's insane. Thank you, pet, for all. And we're talking about our poodle ego. For me, it's my poodle Peony, who is the little princess, my part of myself that's trying to problem solve and wants to feel safe and wants to feel connected, but just the chicken is off. The vibe is off.
The chicken is off.
And I'm not going to overcompensate. I thought, you know what? I'm going to let this go. I had to sit with that. It was sad.
Yeah.
I had to sit with two things that came up for me. The first is I was sad that it was over. Because I was like, whatever version of reality we had, it's gone. Yeah. Like, it's done. It's gone. It's not. And then the second thought I had is, she'll be back. And I'm going to have to be, that's not going to be, like, how will I manage that? In the sense that I know she will at some point come look for me because she'll miss my presence in her life.
It's true. You see him. It's like, especially when I've seen that as a pattern with some people who just sometimes don't have the access or like the toolkit or the depth, as you were saying, to meet you. Yeah. Who knows? Who knows the reason why? Maybe it's their own stuff. Maybe they don't want to be honest. Maybe they have problems. Whatever it is. But they do come back. And Mom would always say that to us because people know who are good to them. But just as you're saying, it can be hard to know what they're like. Knowing their capacity that doesn't create like safety and intimacy within a relationship.
Yes. But the other thing that I think is what I'm really coming to terms with is that going back to this people pleaser thing, right? Like if we think about it from the perspective of like, being and wanting people to like you and approve of you. What that has meant for me in my own life, how that's translated sometimes is like, I don't want to be in conflict with people when I don't really know them. Like I've avoided conflict. Like I've been like, I'll be upset or I'll be frustrated or I'll be angry or whatever. And then I'll never actually let that person know. I'll just sort of work through my feelings by myself and then come out the other side. And what I see now in my shedding, like talking back to our shake skin self, I actually thought for me to say, you seem distant was sort of my way of addressing it. Where I think in the past, there was an older version of me that would not have called it out and not have said anything and would have overcompensated and tap danced as hard as I could to kind of compensate for what had shifted in the relationship. And instead I was like, you know what? I'm just going to name it and you're going to deny it. You're going to say, no, it's you. This
what
is
you. What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
It is you. You are the distant one. And I'm going to say, okay, if that's okay. Like, I'm not going to argue with you on this, but I do think there is an element to this where it's like, I just have to accept that people are where they are. And if I have upset her or she is going through something and she doesn't want to have an intimate conversation with me about that, that's her right to do.
Yeah, totally.
And I'm not going to work too hard for this. I'm going to let go. Instead of giving up on somebody, I frame it for myself as I let go of that. I'm just going to allow this to be whatever it's going to be. And I'm going to give myself permission to say, I'm not responsible for the outcome of this.
Yes.
Hello, my sweet friends. It's Sonia Tully. And here's one thing I know for sure. Your head and your heart are meant to be the best of friends. And when you live life inside out, your head and heart are one. Being an intuitive, connected soul is all about remembering who you are and uncovering your gems. It is my mission to help you trust your intuition so that you can plug back in and reconnect to your authentic self. If you're ready to move into ownership of your intuitive gifts and get out of your own way, my intuitive mentoring programs are healing, fun, and expansive. Get clear on your real goals. Stop people pleasing. Gain confidence in your intuition, quiet your anxiety, and reconnect to your creativity and power. I know life is messy. It's messy for me, but in the mess is where we find the magic, and where we're meant to dive in and find our treasures. Being spiritually connected and divinely guided is the best way to deeply love ourselves and move in the world with confidence and ease. There is nothing I love more than helping people live spontaneously and awaken their inner guide. I can't wait to help you come home. Visit my website, soniatully.com, to learn more. And while you're there, download my free guided meditation and workbook so you can harness the power of your intuition and learn about the ways I can work with you so that you'll dance through life with clarity and confidence.
I was just chatting with my one of my besties here in New Orleans, Nahaya, who's rad. Super rad. She hosted this beautiful community paint and sip this past week at her studio. And I mean, just a free event, brought people, sound bath. I mean, did the whole thing. And I went to have dinner with her and she was telling me that a good friend of hers, this was very limited invite only. And she specifically invited like 3 of her friends. One of her friends came super late to the event, from like 6:30 to 8. Friend showed up at 8. And I was sitting at dinner with her and she was really great because she's like, I actually felt, in the moment I was busy, but then I felt a certain type of way. And it really means the world to me when my good friends are there. It's kind of like I can relax and handle anything. And so what I appreciated about her grace, because, there's a part for me where it's like my Pat, Pete, my golden doodle can get riled up. Like, yeah, where's your friend? Da, 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 da. And it's like, just hold on, pause. But instead, she picked up the phone, had a conversation, was like, hey, because
you hurt my feelings.
Yeah. And was just like, hey, look, I know you were busy, but it didn't feel good to not feel like a priority. It didn't feel good to not be a priority, because she did show up and showed up great. But she was like, when the timing, that made me feel bad. And friend was like, you know what? Totally. I am sorry. Let's go to dinner. I'll do better. And I'm like, I love that. But just even talking about conflict is inherent in our relationships. Like, you can have a moment that's off, or somebody can hurt your feelings or whatever. But when you can be direct, like for you being like, hey, what's up? Even if somebody's not available to talk about it, or whatever, you didn't invite me to the coffee shop, or you borrowed my dress for too long, or whatever it is that's fill in the blank. If we can talk about it, then that actually fortifies and like deepens the trust and connection in the relationship.
It does. Going through things with people, going through it, like coming out the other side, going through the squeeze or the difficult passage literally builds connection and intimacy. Yeah. Like it's the building blocks of every significant female relationship in my life. When I look at, and even, obviously my husband too, but most of the relationships outside of my relationship with my husband are women. Like those are my people, Yeah.
And girls. We
my
love
girls. We're women's women in this family for sure. Yeah. We're sister women.
Yeah.
We are.
Yeah.
Every significant relationship I have been able to argue and come out the other side with that person.
Totally.
Like, I've been able to go through a difficult moment and we found our way back to each other.
Yeah.
And even like over the summer, I got into an argument with our beautiful godmother, Raluca. We had a miscommunication. We had what can only be described as a collision of bad days. I was having a bad day. She was having a bad day. And we collided on our bad days. So we were two trains going different directions, and we collided with each other.
And like sisters, like Raleigh was like family.
Family.
Isn't like family, is family. Like,
she is family. And her and I got into a pretty epic argument with each other that lasted like a good 10 days. This argument.
Two spicy Romanians.
Romanians went at it pretty hard for about 10 days. And what was so interesting is at the end of that argument with her, when we finally got on the phone and we finally talked it through, we first both started mad, and then we both started crying. And then I really felt this shift in me of my own consciousness of like, I was in righteousness with her. I landed on righteousness instead of connection. And I see that, and I'm so sorry that's where I landed, because ultimately that isn't an energy I ever want to live in with anybody, but with this person that I love so dearly. And I really apologized to her, but I also thanked her, because I was like, you've helped me see this pattern in myself where I was just like, no, I'm right and you're wrong. And I'm not willing to hear you out.
I know that one.
Because I'm mad at you. And I was like, no, I realize this is a part of me that I need to continue to evolve. Like, that's my snake skin. I got to let go. So it was like her and I having that collision allowed me to see this part of myself that needed to be surrendered. And I cried and I said, I love you so much. And I'm so grateful. And I'm so sorry. And I really felt it in my body of like, oh, right, this isn't an energy I want to live in. But without the collision and the conversation and the repair, I never would have come to that place of like full recognition.
Yeah.
And that is, I think, the beauty of like having deep relationships in your life where you can go through something with somebody to the other side.
Totally. And I feel that, and And it takes practice. Like we grew up in a family where we did fight, like, and haven't allowed to fight. And it's interesting when I have been like, even my partner Lane, he gets way more overwhelmed really, 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 really quickly. And I realize that for myself is that sometimes I'm not as, it's like, it's hard to, he gets really overwhelmed. And for me, sometimes that has me double or triple down, or that my own nervous system gets dysregulated, that then like it's like two different energies. And then we kind of pop away. So for myself, I'm really also having to recognize that when I am in conflict, to slow down and try and listen, because I get myself in that same point of like righteousness. It's like, I so want to have my point understood that I have no capacity for another person's reality. It's like, yeah, that, but back to me. And what, there's points of like, yes, of course, being heard, but of having the mutuality, because it's like, if I'm not showing up the way that I want to also be treated, then how am I holding somebody to a bar that I'm not holding for myself? And 100%. Also that's what I want. And that's what I want, you know?
Yeah. So but it's so challenging in that moment, because two things can be true at the same time.
Yes.
There can be more than one truth. And I think sometimes we operate so much in the binary that we think, oh, it's either me or you. It's this or that, instead of this and that. These two things can coexist. And so it's like stretching my consciousness to be like, right. So I'm in my experience and you are in your experience. And how can those two experiences coexist? Like, and it does. It's like, it takes a full stretch. It's like Stretch Armstrong. Remember when we were kids, we had Stretch Armstrong, where you could stretch him all around the house, from one end of the house to the other. How far can you stretch him? I'm like, I often feel like over the last few years that I'm Stretch Armstrong. I am learning how to stretch my consciousness, my reality, to be able to include mine and others simultaneously. And it's really difficult. And sometimes I nail it. And sometimes I'm like, yep, I got it. I'm doing it. It's great. And other times I'm like, oh my God, I just want to be in my hidey hole with my own experience, and I don't want anything to do with anybody else's experience.
Totally. And for me also, when I find that is like the Stretch Armstrong of like holding different realities reminds me, last week, my Lane got a job. He works in video and got hired to do this event gig at Tulane. All right. We work in the same office. We both work from home. We spend a lot of time together, and I don't get a lot of alone time.
Yeah. And you need it.
Oh, I need it.
You know, it's so funny because Sufi, my 4-year-old, is the same way. She, like you, when she comes home from school, she likes to go lay in her bed and stare at the wall by herself in the dark.
Pisces.
She just needs to go like be a little fish in a hidey hole for a little while.
Yeah.
And just be quiet and be by herself and just like decompress it from everyone. And I'm like, that's so you. You are like that. You also have that need.
1 trillion %. And usually where I feel that need is I end up staying up late crafting. Like he goes to bed and then I have...
Oh, that's the best feeling in the world.
Oh my gosh, it's so
when you're in it, it feels like a delicious scoop of ice cream in that moment. The next morning, you're like, I'm so tired.
Exhausted.
Like I'm pooped. Exhausted. But in the moment, it just feels like, I'm just living by my own rules.
Making a quesadilla. I've got my head pods on. I'm
watching some TV, crafting.
Oof, girl.
It's just so good in that time.
But so back to Friday. He's supposed to have the day away. I am just I mean, he's packing his camera gear the night before, and I'm like, can't wait for you to be gone. Cannot wait. And he's like, I totally, sorry. All right. So I lease for work. We have one car, takes the car and I'm mama's all alone at the house. Have my clients in the morning, and I have this whole day in vision. I'm going to have my clients, then I'm going to go work out, and then I'm going to go check out this show. Okay. Out of nowhere, I get just our dad had me fill out some sort of form. He needed help with some sort of like authorization form, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So I'm like, all right, fine, I'll help you. Ended up taking way too long.
Okay.
It was like way too long. And it was like technically complicated. And you're just like, all right. But again, so now my day has all of a sudden started to get sipped away. Then I get a text from Lane, and he says, hey, can you do me a favor? Now, Lane doesn't ask for favors very often. And I'm like, what is it? He's like, I left my some camera equipment.
You got to bring it to me.
And I need it. All right. So the first thing I say is, well, what about Uber pickup? To just like set it as a parcel.
Yes.
And he was like, I'll figure it out. Now, I took that. This is one of the things that I am trying to really leave behind as part of staying my own energy is.
You took that. I'm mad at you.
No. I didn't take it as I'm mad at you. But that again, first, like I say, he doesn't ask for help very often, that he really needed help. So I'm like, all right, fine. But I didn't give a beat or really circle back because I heard and took, I'll figure it out. Not as reassuring. Like, yeah, don't worry about it. Enjoy your day. Not a big deal. We'll figure it out. To, I'm doing my own hyper independence. I really do need help. And I'm saying I don't need help, but I do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yes.
It wasn't my own dangling business. Right. So then I'm like, all right, cool. Borrow my bestie's car, drop the thing, get back home. And lo and behold, there is my whole day. Decided to skip the workout class to try and recoup the work time. That was a terrible idea. Moving always makes you feel better. Decide that I'm going to go. We find out also Bill Murray's going to be at the show. I'm like, I love Bill Murray. I'm like, I want to go see Bill Murray, go to the show. I'm there. I'm all dressed up. And then I'm like, I have 4 hours, like 3 hours left alone at the house. So I take the Lane's car because she's going to get a ride, drive back. And again, just biffed it. It was like being being 2 steps off at the dance all day long.
Like
all day long. Of course, I text my neighbors who live across the hall, Lane. I'm like, lo and behold, I bet you $5 as soon as I leave, y'all are going to get to hang out with Bill Murray. Well, guess who came home? Guess who got to hang out with Bill Murray? Guess who's a hero of mine?
When you say hang out with Bill Murray, what does that mean?
So Bill Murray was leading the second line for this Tulane event, like a fundraiser. One super chill guy was there at the theater all day long, does his like little sound check, whatever, and is hanging. The show concludes, and then there's like at the venue that they were at, they had like a downstairs like bar kind of backstage area, and because Lane was working, I could have 100% went, hung out, mingled, and it's not just him, other people in the band and other friends that I have were there.
So when you got home and you had this day, what did you feel like you learned about yourself?
I learned that I really have to, dealing with disappointment. Like I was just disappointed, and I had to really be very intentional not to point that at anyone. Whether it was dad, whether it was Lane.
You could bazooka gun somebody with
everyone.
that. Somebody who was going to get bazooka gunned with the disappointment gun.
Happily. Like, instead, I told Lane very clearly, I'm like, we need to communicate. This is what I heard. I need more verbal confirmation, but I was just a step off of the dance. And what I'm dealing with is disappointment. And what I need is reassurance and like just some comforting. Like, honey.
I'm sorry that happened to you.
Yeah.
That is a bummer. I get it. I hear and see you.
Yeah. Yeah. So to that, and again, for me, my pet really can get enthusiastic and overextend before truly checking in.
Yes.
And my own overlay story of, Lane doesn't really ask for help and blah. None of that was necessarily actually true. It was my own story that, again, I'm like, didn't leave him empowered and put me in a position that had me be off of the dance all day long. And I'm like, I want to leave that behind. Like, I really want to leave that behind. I
do think it's like one of those things where when you are a tremendously empathic person, sometimes feeling my feelings is like not always the top of the priority list. Like it's easy for me to sort of shove me to one side to just kind of get through whatever needs to be getting through in that moment. And then it's almost like a tidal wave of me comes and smacks me in the face later because I've done it. Like I'm like, okay, I'll do this. And then I'll deal with me later. But when I do deal with me, it's like the version of me that went to the bottom of the ocean and she comes out totally mangled and like covered in seaweed and like her hair's a mess. And she's just like, she's seen too much, it's like, it's been too much for her emotionally that day. And so then I'm dealing with that version of myself. And I'm like, right, if I just stop, slow down, check in with me sooner, I can kind of mitigate how much rolling around at the bottom of the ocean she's doing.
Totally. And for me as well, it's like that, look, if I had a lot of alone time, it wouldn't be a big deal. So in some ways, I could also minimize it when it's like, well, with what is so, actually it's very precious. So that is a trump card. It's a trump card.
100%. 100%. So that's why I'm like, if we're shedding and letting go parts of us, I think the thing that I would really like to leave behind in 2025 is over accommodating, people pleasing myself into a state of emotional abandonment where I come out the other side a hot mess.
Yeah. I love that. Things that I am leaving behind, as I was saying, is like just, again, fortifying my energetic boundaries, just staying in my own energy. And the other thing that I want to leave behind is like doing too much. I have a lot of enthusiasm. And so sometimes I just spread myself thin, whether it's like with travel or plans or I want to do it all.
Yeah.
And I love that, but I really want to simplify and not have FOMO.
Right. I think that's such a hard one because you do and are somebody who really loves life and living life, but it's almost like the word you live La Vida Loca. That is true. You are someone who loves to live in La Vida Loca. One time I get to share that story because it's so cute. I was sitting with my husband on the couch and he had his AirPods on.
I love that story.
And I just was sitting and all the way I heard upside, inside out, living La Vida Loca. And I looked over and Ahmed was just listening to Live in La Vida Loca on his iPad by himself.
That's so sweet.
It's just the cutest, sweetest.
I can't. I
just live in La Vida Loca all alone. It's just very funny. Anyway,
I think of that too when I hear of that song. I think of that too.
You are somebody who loves to live La Vida Loca. And because of that, we do need to recognize that I always think of myself like a cup of water, which is that if I'm a cup of water and I spill myself out all over the table, I kind of lose my potency. Like I can't be as effective if I'm spilled out everywhere and I'm trying to do everything. But if I keep myself within my kind of energetic boundaries and I really respect my needs to contain myself in a way that's healthy and self-loving, then I can be quite potent. Then I can. So I don't want to be a cup of water all over the table.
No. I want to.
I don't want to be a cup of water spread too thin.
Or another thing, a way that I think about is like your energy, and if it's all over the place, like that cup of water, it's like a light on a disco ball and just scatters and is all over, as opposed to when you can have it contained, then it can be a lot more intentional. So those are some of the different things that I I think this is something I'm going to also just sort of journal about and like reflect on, really intentionally as we approach like the winter solstice and these different things of, it's like going to be 2026 so fast. So fast. And like
tomorrow, basically.
I know. Wow. Take a breath. But it's like if you're growing a new field, if you're growing new things, first you have to till the soil. First you have to like make space. And it's not through being critical. And I feel like this is our tool of the week of just going through the different compartments and areas of your life, like health, relationships, or even maybe what's been most challenging. Because I find that that's often a really important spot of that will give me good guidance on what we need to let go of.
Yes, I do think this is a shedding year. It's a year of the snake. It's a shedding. It's a letting go. Everybody to some degree has been experiencing that. It's like there has been a discomfort across the board that can be a catalyst for real change. And I think we are all in the midst of that together. We're all feeling that together. So if you want to reflect on what you're going to leave behind in 2025, what you're going to shed, what you're going to allow yourself to really blossom into in 2026.
Love that. And just we have our beautiful tribe on Circle. I don't know if our listeners are members, but my mom has our mom has
our collective mother, the both of us.
Yeah, I always say that, has a membership site, and it's so wonderful. It's such an engaged community. We do lives every Wednesday, but it's been such a treat to just connect and have a place where you can share. So if you're on Circle, we'll start a thread. Tell us what it is that you're leaving behind. Or if I believe Mom was going to do a YouTube video on this as well. So if you want to check out her YouTube, leave us a comment, even email us. It's all related podcast questions at gmail.com. Tell us, what are you leaving behind in this in this cycle as we move into the horse? We get out of the snake, we start to see. I am about it. Well, before we go to our question of the week, I know that Mom is also doing some exciting things at the beginning of the year.
We have a truly incredible, exciting announcement, but I almost want to wait
for Mom. You're right.
Yeah, I feel like
it's like announcing somebody else's baby.
Yeah, no, we got to wait till next week, everybody.
Right.
We've got really incredible, exciting, profound, wonderful announcement. But we're going to leave that to Sonia because this is the culmination of her 50 years of work.
Yeah.
So
you're right.
It's so exciting, but we're going to wait.
You know what this reminds me of really, really quick? Many years ago, Sabrina and I surprised my mom by going to Beyonce, and we laid it on thick. And I said, we're in the nosebleeds. We were in it completely together. We get to the stadium. We're about to go onto the field because we got like the best tickets.
For her.
Go ahead.
To surprise
Sabrina.
her.
Tell her.
So we're walking and we've all day, we've hyped it up. We're going to Beyonce, but we're in the nosebleeds. We're going to Beyonce. We'll be back in the house. They're terrible seats, but they're all, and Mom just being the best, most positive. It's okay. It's great. I'm happy. This is so fun. I'm so happy. She's so just happy to be going with us to do something. And just like such a positive, good
happy
energy.
Mommy.
Just happy mommy about it. So we get there and we, instead of having had truly nosebleeds, like Sonia and I had splurged and combined forces and bought 3 basically front row tickets to Beyonce. And the floor, like we are on the stage, basically Beyonce tickets. And as we're walking into
the moment. It's the moment
that she would have come to the realization. Sonia says,
I lied.
I lied.
We actually have really, really, really good seats.
You didn't let Mom have the moment.
I couldn't. I got
you got so excited. You just had to tell her.
I know.
You popped.
I know.
You just popped. And really Mom was like, what? And she's still, to your credit, she was still surprised. And it did take her
graceful.
a few moments she still took a few moments to come be like, wow, we look at, okay, wow. Like it was, but it was hilarious that you just could
That's me.
not.
That was me right now. That was me right now. Thank you for being the pump of the brakes. Thank you for
I pumped the brakes. I'm like, we're going to wait for mom because it's too good. And it's so exciting. And I want mom to be the one to announce it to all our peeps.
100%. 100%. Well, then in that case, I'm like, do you have anything going on, Sabrina?
No, we are going to ask you all to rate, subscribe, review. I mean, part of what we've got going on is I'm helping mom do this big old thing that we're doing. So that's the going ons over here is our big announcement. But we really do love when you rate, subscribe, and review. It helps promote our podcast. And we would be so grateful if you would take a moment to do that. We just really love sharing this podcast with you all and with each other. And so rate, subscribe, and review.
Yeah. And last, as you know, it's the perfect time of the year. I have a few spots for the beginning of the year for mentoring and also really great time to book a soul reading, get clear on your soul purpose questions, all that. And I'm doing a Black Friday sale through Cyber Monday. So when this comes out, definitely check it out. But now let's go to our question of the week.
Beautiful. Question of the week.
This week we have a question from our dear listener, Lorraine. And Lorraine asks, I keep seeing repeating numbers all the time, mostly license plates or phone numbers. Are these messages from my spirit? Do different numbers mean different things? Or are they simply messages that my spirit is nearby?
Great question. You want to kick us off?
Well, as we've talked about, spirit doesn't speak English. And so whenever anything for me gets my attention in different patterns, numbers, just things that pull at my vibration at my spirit, I'm like that 100%. I'm like, those are your guides, your angels getting your attention. And the way that we connect to our guides is through the portal of our own spirit. So having you present in your body is the telephone of being able to even connect to this beautiful constellation.
Amazing. I love that so much. And I would say absolutely. For me, repeating numbers is always very much a sign of my angels. For me, when I see a repeating number, I'm like, it's an affirmation. It's a wink from the universe. It's a constant conversation. And because, I see repeating numbers probably 10 times a day.
Yeah.
Whether it's like, I'll look at my phone, repeating numbers, or look down at the number of time, amount of time I've been on the phone and it's repeating numbers, or, I'll look at like a package that arrives, it's repeating numbers. Like I'm constantly being shown repeating numbers. And for me, I really take it as comfort. Like I internalize it as like, oh, this is comfort. It's comforting to me to see that the angels are talking to me and assuring me and reassuring me, especially in moments of stress or duress. Like I see it a lot. So I do think that for me, it's like, it can mean for you, whatever it means for you. But for me, it definitely has meant my angels, my guides, my light team talking to me.
Absolutely. And if you study like esoterically, because sometimes I'm like, we don't need to get lost in the sauce of too much information, but numerology is old. This is Egyptians, Babylonians, Greece. Those numbers are part of our collective consciousness. Yes. And they hold different energies. Like if you look at a tarot deck or you look at different angel numbers, so they have different vibrations and frequencies. So one also fun thing that you can do is if I keep seeing this repeating number, first go to your own spirit and intuition. Go to yourself first. I feel like that's what mom always taught us.
Yes. Go there first. Go check in first. Yes. Like, what am I getting here? Yeah. What am I receiving? And then whatever it is you're getting or receiving, acknowledge it.
Trust it. 100%.
Trust it. Acknowledge it. Like recognize it.
And then I feel like from there, then you can even look them up. And it's amazing how often they correlate. It's amazing how they often just like correlate or might be a different facet. So I'd say encourage, that's your angels, 100%. Those are your guides. And if you want to do a deeper dive, check out some numerology. It's actually a very fun study that relates to like all of the different things. But that's that's our academic spiritual. Well, Sabrina, an absolute delight to talk to you today. I love you so much.
I love you so much. I love all of you so much.
Yeah, we love all of our
listeners. All of our love and our hugs, and for your transformation and for ours.
Yeah, sending you, have a happy Thanksgiving if you're in the States, and if not, have a happy day, and we'll see you next week.
Happy day.
Bye.
Love you.
Bye.